You want more? Yes.
It's storytelling, storytelling, storytelling time. It's come on again. It's storytelling. Again. Storytelling time. Stories about people and animals too. Funny stories, scary stories, silly stories too. It's storytelling. Again, it's storytelling. Storytelling time. We're so happy that you are here to celebrate with us. Welcome. Welcome to the Black Storytellers Alliance 33rd Signifyin and Testifyin Festival. We are so happy to be downtown, and we have some wonderful, outstanding, award-winning storytellers here to celebrate with us. So we've come to celebrate and to party and to have a great time. All right? It's storytelling. Again. We are intentional about capturing the plight and resilience of Black people and sharing our stories of self-preservation, achievement, and Black joy. We have 6 outstanding, amazing storytellers, so I want you to buckle up now and get ready to fly. Tonight, we're also celebrating our sister, our Shiro, Nothando Zulu. Nothando did more than just show up. She showed us all how it should be done. And she did it with excellence. She showed us what excellence looks like. A phenomenal woman was she. She walked on the stage just as cool as she pleased. And the other storytellers, we smile and we say, yeah, she's the queen. People wonder where Nothando's secret lies. I say it was the way she laughed and talked out loud. The stories she told with a twinkle in her eyes, always with a binding love that never dies. We felt her passion. Our spirits were lifted high. I say it was the magic in her laughter, the sweet sounds in her pitch, and the joy from her heart. Tonight, we celebrate. It's storytelling, storytelling. is storytelling. Tonight we also celebrate and remember our sister friend, Beverly Cottman. Beverly was an educator and community worker, and she did a lot of work on the national level with the National Association of Black Storytellers. So we are honoring her tonight. We have our resident drummers. You've heard them. On drum, we have Brother Ghana, Brother Ashe, and Mariama. Let's give them a big round of applause. We have two awesome, fantastic interpreters. We have Jamila Holman. Now, she's as a professional actor, she brings that in her interpretation. And we have Rosalinda Alvarez, who is a trilingual interpreter. But first, as usual in the tradition, we must begin by honoring our ancestors. So Mother Atun will come and do libations for us. Mother Atun is one of our renowned authorities on cultural wellness and recovery of the African voice.
I wasn't sure if fire to light the candle was allowed inside, but we do have a candle, and I just want you to know that it will stay with the family because it is a gift that reminds me every time I see it of Elder Nothando's beauty, her very amazing grace, her capacity to bring out in each of us every drop of beauty that we cannot see, but she can. So we want the candle to go home with the family. We also remember that it is said in many traditions that from the earth we come, and to the earth we shall return. In many, many traditions, however, Yoruba, as well as Kemet, and those that we study so closely, we know that the first materialization that comes is this amazing stone, a cube, that is a materialization or a physicality of that which comes together from the first time, from the beginning. And again, we dedicate this tonight to Elder Vusi. And I place this as I think about how Sister Nothando cared for, deeply, deeply, deeply cared for every bone in his body. I also know each of you are aware of the roll that water. As water and fire and air and earth bring into existence the black man and the black woman. And these principles are then joined together by, again, the masculine and feminine in creation, all having a place, a state of being, a state of knowing, a state of functioning that has been represented over and over again by elder sister, mother of love, Nothando Zulu, and brother Vusi. I'd like to invite elders in the room who are the oldest. The one that I know is, ask you to please stand, who is 90. Who is 90 or at the doorstep of 90 or older. Please stand. Sister Katie, are you around that you can see me? Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you. We each are always aware of Elder Mahmoud El-Kati. Elder Mahmoud, would you please stand? As we once again go to the oldest in the room. I'd also, you may sit. I also would like to ask, is there a sister with child in the room? Is there a baby, younger person in the room? The youngest person in the room? Yes. Would you please make her visible, please, or him? Yes. It is from these that we seek permission to pour libations. Thank you. Would you please call the ancestors, those who have gone before you at this moment? Call their names as loud as you can.
Emma Jean Lawrence. Jordan Person.
Yes. 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 Sisters who tonight we just give thanks and honor to the best of our possible ability. It is with this, once again, that we pour as in the inundation to guide our feet to a perfected state, that we will come and listen and be instructed by all that we have received.
Thank you, dear. Yes, thank you. Thank you. As I said earlier, we have 6 fantastic, award-winning storytellers here to entertain you and share our culture. Each of them have their own style of telling. And so you will see a wide variety of storytelling. I'm going to do my best to introduce them. We have one teller who's not in the program, so I will read a little bit more about her, but I'm just going to tell you what I know about the person, and some of what I've read, too. They say you know people through their actions and not what they say. And so up first is a feisty, effervescent, and enthusiastic storyteller, Valerie Tussin. You're going to say, Valerie Tussin. And Valerie is a new proud mama. She is passionate about storytelling, and she uses it as a vehicle for building communities across cultures and class and generations. Valerie has worked as a professional storyteller, cultural artist, and she's a founding member of the Rhode Island Black Storytellers, receiving numerous awards for her work. And then after Valerie, we have all the way from South Africa. Now, you know, I messed up the sister's name so many times. She said, just call me Dr. Gina. And that's what I'm going to say. She's going to tell you her name when she gets here. We have Dr. Gina from South Africa. And you're going to say, Dr. Gina. Now, when I heard her on Wednesday at the homegoing ceremony, I had goosebumps. So I see her as that spiritual person that anoints you with every sound that comes out of her mouth. She's a celebrated South African author, playwright, and performer. She has made a significant impact in the literary and art entertainment industries. Her work expands across genres, including children's literature, poetry, and short stories. And then we have Kunama and Mtendaji. Did I say that right? Well, he's going to tell you when he gets up here. He's going to tell you when he gets up here. One of the things I know about the brother is he's very passionate. He is very passionate about what he do and the work he does. He see his mission is to empower our people, and especially our young people, through his stories. He's an awesome African drummer and storyteller. He was born into a family that excels in the oral tradition on his mother's side, and he gets his musical talents on his father's side. The brother, he's a double threat, you know. He plays the drum, he plays the flute, and he received his traditional drumming and dance training during his college years at the Performing Arts Center, directed by the renowned dancer Catherine Dunham. Kunama is a double threat, so you get ready. Hold on. And then after Kunama, that is my friend Tony Simmons. Let me hear you say, Tony Simmons. Tony lights up a room with her smile. She brings laughter and creativity and new life to the stories that she tells. She uses rhythm and songs, and she has a special way of pulling you in and putting you right inside the story. Her works include a variety of literature and from various cultures across the world. And then after that, we have the sister, who's not in the program, Queen Noor. Now, I've seen her perform many, many times, and I've always been impressed by her dancing, because when she dances, you know, I just move, you know, to the beat. But this sister, you can see it in her face. You see it in her body. She, whatever she's doing, she gives it 100%. She commands the stage with authority when she comes out. She's captivating. Queen Noor is an award-winning international storytelling, folklorist, and teaching artist from New Jersey. She is the 14th president of the National Association of Black Storytellers. She is a New Jersey Heritage Fellow recipient of the 2022 Library of Congress Community Collections Award to document the soul line dancing community in Philadelphia. She has been featured in O Magazine. You know you've made it now. O Magazine. Now, her bio is not in the program, so that's why I want to just take time and introduce. But I want to encourage you to read the bios, because I'm not doing them justice with the work that they've done and they've accomplished, and how they've done, what the work they've done to change and help shape our culture and our communities. And then after Queen Noah, we have Mitch Cable, known as Granddaddy Junebug. Let me hear you say, Look. How many of you have ever been to a magic show? Have you seen magic? You've seen magic, right? And how they pull a rabbit out of their hats and they make things disappear and appear? But he does that with words. He's a word musician. They call him a national treasure. Every time the brother takes the stage, he brings history with him. He is an author and a poet, and they say he's a national treasure. I say he's a transformer of lives. So can you say once again, Granddaddy Junebug? And now, give me a drum roll. Let the celebration begin. Let's give a big warm welcome to our very first feisty, effervescent, and enthusiastic storyteller, Beverly Cottman.
I'm sorry, I know I told you I wasn't. Hello, everyone. How you feeling? All right, I was going to do a long introduction, but I can't. But I do want to tell you the story that I'm going to tell you. You know, this is the symbol of the National Association of Black Storytellers. You know what it is? It's a cow tail switch. This one actually is a horse, but we won't, go there. This is a horse's tail. And the animal's tail has meaning all over the continent of Africa. And Clena will tell you, when I got there and was carrying this around, it was a problem because it's only carried by the traditional healers. And in Nigeria, it's carried by the chiefs. But in Liberia, there's a story about why this is carried by the storytellers. And this is familiar to those of us in the organization or the affiliates, but it seems appropriate for tonight. And it comes from Liberia, and in Liberia, when they start the stories, the storyteller says, once upon a time, and the listeners say time, so I'm going to say once upon a time, and you say time. Once upon a time, once upon a time, once upon a time, a long time ago, there was a man, and he was a hunter. He had a wife, and they had some children, and his wife was pregnant. She was going to have a baby. Now, one day, this man said to his wife, honey, I'm taking my hunting things and I'm going off into the woods and I'll be back in time for dinner, so please don't eat till I get home. So that's what she said. She said, okay. And then once he took his things and went off, then the children had to do their chores. Do I have children in the room around here? Do y'all know about doing chores? You do? You don't know about chores. You got a chore to do? What chores do you do? Make your bed, brush your teeth, and clean up everything. That's wonderful. Oh, my goodness. Good job. Anybody else? You got some chores? What you got? Plates and all that stuff? You got to take care of the plates. What about you? Who said laundry? Did I hear it? Laundry and toys. You got to put the toys away. Wonderful. In this family, the children also had chores to do. The girls stayed close to home and they helped around the yard and they pounded the yams, and the boys took their fishing nets and they went and they caught the fish. And on this particular day, when the children had helped with the work, their mother made the most amazing meal. Oh my goodness. They all gathered together to eat that food. But they had a problem. The food was ready, but Father wasn't back yet. And they were not supposed to eat until Father returned. And so the children sat around there and they were looking at that food and smelling that food, and their stomachs were growling and their mouths were watering and their eyes were getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And they did not speak one word because they had not been spoken to. Some of us remember those days. But their faces were screaming, "Mother, I'm starving. If I don't get something to eat, I'm going to die." Anybody had that feeling before? Mm-hmm. You might not know this, but mothers all over the world, you've had that. I know, me too. I get it. And all this mother had to do was look at the faces of the children. Their hands might have been up a little bit too, just like y'all over there. She said, "I know it's getting late, and we're supposed to wait for your father to come home, but I can see that you're hungry, so we'll eat and we'll sleep, and your father will be back tomorrow." So the family ate and slept, and the next day the children woke up, and Father wasn't back. Mother said, "He'll be back tomorrow." And the next day came, and the day after that, and the days and nights turned into, what do you call those things? Weeks, thank you. And the weeks turned into months, exactly. And months went by, and before a year passed, something wonderful happened. Something so miraculous. They forgot all about Father. Do you know what it was? You don't know? Come on, help. Yes, Mother had the baby. A little baby came screaming into the world. And he was beautiful. He had dark skin and dark hair on his head and dark eyes, and everybody came around to see this beautiful little baby. Everybody loves when there's new life. And Mother called the baby Poolie, and even the cool people would go up to him and say things like giggly, giggly, goo. And pretty soon Poolie grew. And he learned how to crawl and pick himself up, and he learned how to walk a little bit. But I want to tell you about a very special day when Poolie walked up to his mother and asked his first question. "Mama, where is my dada?" And she said, "Oh, that's a good question. He went hunting before you were born, and he didn't come back." Well, the older children were listening. And they said, "Mother, we saw the path that Father took, and we'll go down that path, and we'll find Father, and we'll bring him back." And so they packed up a little bit of food and some things, and they said goodbye to their mother and their baby brother, and they headed off into the woods, and they walked and walked till they came to a place where the path was completely overgrown. And when they got to that path and they couldn't find a way through the trees or over them or around them, they started to do like some people do when they encounter an obstacle. It was too hard, some of the kids said, "Let's just go back." But one of the children said, "Wait a minute. Father and I used to explore here. I know how to get through here. Father showed me, and I want to show you. Watch what I can do." And that girl got down on her stomach, and she wiggled like a snake underneath the roots of those trees. And her brothers and sisters did the same thing. "Come on, let me see y'all wiggling." Woo! They were wiggling and wiggling and wiggling, till they came out on the other side. And when they stood up in the clearing, it was maybe, I don't know, y'all can't see because it's dark over there, but maybe half the size of this room. But when they stood up in that clearing, they looked, because right there on the ground, they saw a pile of bones. And right in the middle of those bones, they saw a human skull. And all around those bones, they saw broken and rusted hunting tools. And when they looked, they recognized them as their father's hunting tools. And so, being smart young people, they figured those bones must be their father's bones. Ooh. Father must have been killed in the hunt. Guess we'd better bring the bones back to Mother. So they started to tiptoe up towards those bones, and then they reached down to, nobody wanted to touch those bones. They reached down and they jumped back and reached down and jumped back, and some of them were falling on the ground, grabbing a hold of their hearts and everything, until one of the children said, wait a minute, we don't need to be afraid of the bones, because Father taught me how to put the bones together. He taught me about anatomy. Watch what I can do. And this child got down on hands and knees and connected the bones. You know, the toe bones connected to the feet bones, connected to the ankle bones, connected to the, leg bones. Them bones gonna rise again. Yeah! Got all those legs connected to the hips and stacked up the vertebrae on the back and got those ribs and put them around and got those arms and the fingers and put that skull on top. Guess what they had? Skeleton, yeah. You're so smart. That's why they call you Granddaddy, right? By the way, I forgot to ask permission from my elders to speak. May I? A skeleton. Great thing to bring home to your mother, wouldn't you? Hey, Mom, we found Dad. He's lost some weight. But here he is. They didn't think she was going to like that too well. One of the children said, wait, I know how to do something. Father showed me this. Watch what I can do. And that child reached into the earth and pulled the earth. Yes, and moved it around and around and said some special words and snapped fingers, and there was Father in the flesh again. But he couldn't move and he couldn't speak until one child said, wait, I know how to do something. And that child ran over and touched Father from the top of his head down to his feet and said some special words and snapped fingers, and Father started to walk. Then Father started to dance. Oh, and the children were dancing with their father right there. They danced until they were tired and fell on the ground. Oh, last child said, wait, I could do something Father showed me. I want to show you. Watch what I can do. And that child reached right over and touched Father's mouth. And Father said, oh, my children, how good of you to have come. Thank you for bringing me back from the land of the dead. Now, let's go home to your mother. Oh my goodness, those children were so excited. They could not wait to tell their mother they were on their way home, but they did not have any cell phones back then. So you could not stream it live on Facebook or iDream TV. It couldn't happen. The only way they could let their mother know that they were on their way was to sing a song which might have gone something like this. I go pass on lay, I go pass on lay, I go pass on lay, la 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 la. Help me out. I go pass on lay, I go pass on lay, I go pass. Keep singing a little louder. Here we go. I go. The words mean I'm knocking. Yes, yes. They walked and they sang, yes. And their mother heard the song coming and she ran to the edge of the village. And when she got there and she saw her children and her husband, she sang the answer back, which went like this. Moyo, 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 la 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 la. Help me out. Moyo, 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 moyo. Oh my goodness, if we weren't first on the program, we could let this party keep going, but we can't. But you got the idea of the village. Everybody came out hearing that song, and everybody witnessed Mother and Father seeing each other for the first time. Oh, it was like the movies. They ran together and they hugged and kissed and laughed and cried as the sun sun was going down at the hour when everyone looks beautiful. I forget how you say it in Zulu. Salimandubahi, yes. And then Father got to meet that little boy who'd been born when he was gone. The whole family gathered together to eat, and they listened to Father tell the story of what had happened, how he had fallen asleep against a tree with his belly full, forgot to check the branches above his head, and the great big cat leapt down and grabbed him around the neck. It was a gross story to hear over dinner, but Father was a good storyteller. And when he finished, he stood up. And he said, now I'm going to go into the hut. I'm going to shave my head. And I will stay there for 4 days, because that was the custom when somebody came back from the land of the dead. When I come out in 4 days' time, have the whole village to come for the celebration. Oh, and kill the fattest cow you can find and bring me the cow's tail. Nobody knew why he wanted the tail. They knew they needed a big cow because everybody would come and need to eat. But Father took the tail and he put it on a stick, like this is on a stick. And he took some beads, and he took some shells and some shiny bits and pieces of metal, and he decorated that cow's tail. When he came out 4 days later, it was glorious. And he walked around the village. Everyone was there greeting him. And somebody said, that's the most beautiful cow's tail I've ever seen. Will you give it to me? And Father said, nice of you to ask, but no. This is going to one of my children, the one most responsible for bringing me back from the land of the dead. If we had all the time in the world, if we were under a full moon night, we could discuss and debate. But I'll just ask you, who do you think Father said would receive the gift? How many? The one who put the ball? Yeah, see, the bones, the one who put the bones together, the one who got the earth. They should share it, some people probably think. The one who touched the mouth. All these important jobs. The baby, why do you say it, Christy? New life when he was gone. And he asked the question. I will give this to the baby, Father said. Because Puli asked the question, Mama, where is my dada? And until he did that, you had forgotten about me, given me up for dead and gone. So Puli, come here. Puli received that gift, and he had it forever, and he heard the story over and over again of why he had been chosen to receive that gift. And when the younger people came and he couldn't get around much, and they'd ask him, and he would tell them the story of his father, and he would say, so you see this, it reminds me, and I hope it reminds all of us always. No one is ever dead unless or until they're forgotten. No one is ever dead when we remember them, and we remember them, and we remember them, and we remember them.
It is hope, it is hope. You can be sure it is hope that shines in our eyes, wiping away all of our tears. It is hope, it is hope. You can be sure it is hope that shines in our eyes, wiping away all of our tears. People have wondered how Africans can sing and dance and laugh with the sun. After the rivers of tears they've been through, people have wondered how Africans can sing and dance and laugh with the sun. After the rivers of tears they've been through, it is hope, it is hope. You can be sure it is hope that shines in our eyes, wiping away all of our tears. People have wondered how Africans can sing and dance and laugh with the sun. After the rivers of tears they've been through. Sanbonan, how you doing? Yay, it is the hope that shines in our eyes. Whatever we go through, we've got that light that shines deep inside. When you think of what people from the African continent, people from the diaspora, people from different countries, whether you talk South America, you talk about the Aboriginal communities, you talk about people from so many places that have gone through so much. And then you meet them and they smile and they laugh and they dance because there's the light that shines deep within. It is that hope that I take as my walking stick. I take it as my walking stick, that hope that keeps us going. I'm grateful to be here. I will say it again, that I live on vitamin G, on vitamin gratitude. So I'm so happy to be here. I thank every person who decided that we should continue to have this festival to honor an amazing matriarch, a pathfinder, a pioneer, an icon, a mother to so many. Mama Nothando, Mother of Light. I'd like to, before I tell a story, share a poem that I call A New Dawn. Hoina! 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 Everybody come out and watch. Today, the morning star shines brighter as it triumphantly ushers in a new sunrise. Finally, the day has dawned for the woman of Africa to be honored and respected for who she really is. For hundreds of years, hunger and disease have been her unwanted companion. Denied education and the dignity every human being deserves. All too often made to feel like a refugee in her own home, as insults and humiliation were heaped upon her. Oh, the battles she has fought, from colonialism to racism, sexism, apartheid, and so much more. But you wouldn't say by the smile she bears to kiss the sunrise each morning. Grateful just to be alive with her children and man. Her laughter, it inspires birds to sing new melodies. She hates war with all her heart. And every time she's called upon to come sing and dance for one victory or another, she goes. She sings, her hips swaying. Longingly for all wars to end, for every bullet on the African soil to turn into a ripe, juicy fruit, a vegetable seed, a cup of rich, creamy milk, or a pen to write with. The woman of Africa wants to sing a song of love, to bring back old wisdoms that will shine a new light brighter than the stars in the night sky. For all her wishes and endeavors, her tears and laughter, may the springs, lakes, and rivers of Africa sing her praises every day so she may not tire. May the leaves on every tree chant on a windy day. Halala, halala, we celebrate you. Woman of Africa, we celebrate you. Halala, halala, we celebrate you. Woman of Africa, we celebrate you. The woman of Africa wants to sing a song of love. The woman of Africa wants to sing a song of love, to bring back old wisdoms that will shine a new light brighter than the stars in the night sky. Halala, this is a new day. This is a new day. We celebrate you, woman of Africa. Halala, this is a new day. This is a new day. We celebrate you, woman of Africa. Halala, this is a new day. This is a new day. We celebrate you, woman of Africa. Halala! 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 We celebrate, Mama Nothando. We celebrate each and every one of you, women of Africa, and the men who love and respect women. Are there such men in the house? Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. I'd like to share a story with you. A story that I have had a lot of joy telling. It is about, when we tell a story in my country, we say, "Kwe suge sugela," and people say, "Tosi." So I say, "Kwe suge sugela." Tosi. Kwe suge sugela. Tosi. There was a boy who lived with his parents. He was an only child, but his father had so many cattle. Oh, ma, why efuyile webantu? You never saw so many cattle. This man was a proud father, a husband, member of the community. In my part of the world, sithi ubuhle bendoda zinkomo zayo. The good-looking face of a man is the number of cattle he has. That's how you can call him handsome. And other men had cattle, of course, and their children took care of the cattle. Every morning they'd wake up and have something to eat and wash themselves and get ready, take the cattle out of the cattle kraal and towards the river to drink, up to the other side, emadlelweni, in the grazing lands. And the children took care of the cattle all day long. They played games, they ate wild fruit, they had a good time. In the afternoons, when it was time for the cattle to come back home, this boy I'm talking about, he had a white ox. And this ox was big in elunda elkhulula. A big hump here between the shoulders. And when it moved, you knew there was just muscle and pride. And then he would stand in front of that ox. Athi baho lenkomo kababa bhatom wena ompondo zimhlophe kweqhwa phezulu ezintabeni baho lenkomo kababa bhatom wena uyimpondo sicijile sibheke phezulu sikhomba isibhakabhaka baho lenkomo kababa bhatom wena uthi ubonga udidi inyoni zezulu ukuthi sibhonge njengawe noma icula ingoma zasemandulo. Yeah. The other boys were jealous. They were envious. They looked at him. How can he do that? And Batom, the name of the ox, would go moo, 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 and he would move down the hill all the way to the river, and all the cattle followed him. All of them. The other boys thought, if only I could have an ox or a bull or a cow that I could praise like that and say, lead them, my father's ox. You with the horns that are as white as the snow up in the mountains, as sharp as the arrows that point up to the blue skies, the one who makes the bellowing confuse even the birds, not knowing whether to bellow like you or to sing ancient melodies. That's what he said. Oh my. They went down to the river, all the cattle drank, and Batom, he went all the way home into the cattle kraal. When all had followed, the father stood proudly watching his wealth getting into the cattle kraal, and they closed. And they sat down and they enjoyed sunsets and they had something to eat and people shared stories. It was a wonderful feeling to be alive at that time. The rains came on time. They had enough food to eat. It was wonderful. the community taking care of each other. Again, in the afternoons, the next day, the boy would be relaxing with his friends and they'd be watching the cattle, they'd be playing games and eating wild fruit. And then it was time to take the cattle back home. And then he would start. When we impondo sichile sibheke phezulu esibhakabhakeni wena impondo zimhlophe weqhayila imhlophe eyintabeni phezulu wena okubhonga kudidi inyoni zezulu zingazi ukuthi zicule njengawe noma zishaya ingoma zasemandulo. And Bottom and those horns looking up at the sky like this, and the other boys watched. They pushed their own cattle. After all the cattle from Bottom's herd of cattle went down and they drank at the river, they went back home. And after that, the grandmothers and grandfathers told amazing stories. And this young boy listened very attentively, and he dreamt of seeing those faraway mountains they talked about. He dreamt of going to those wonderful deep, deep forests where so much mystery resided. He thought of so many things. He couldn't stop dreaming as he listened to all of those stories. His imagination could fly. One afternoon, it was an unusually quiet afternoon. It was hot. It was just quiet air. Almost like nothing moved. The cattle were lying down. Not chewing gum, no. They were ruminating. And the boys were playing some games. They were playing games and enjoying themselves, and suddenly it felt like something had descended because nobody moved. Only the cattle went backwards. They were making strange sounds. They stood up and they moved, and others felt like they were glued to the ground. And the boys looked around. Is there a snake? They picked up their sticks and they looked around. Can you lift up your foot, ma'am? No, nothing there. And then they looked. Excuse me, lady, what is that, a jackal? No, it wasn't. And they looked around, they couldn't see what was terrifying the cattle so much. And then, oh no, this can't be, my eyes are lying to me. There were 10 men eating ogres, larger than life, twice the size of tall, strong men. And they had hair all over. Their eyes were disgusting. Oh, big. And their nostrils, and the mouth like a cave. The teeth were yellow and sharp. And then they looked at all of these boys and looked at the cattle, and the children didn't know what to do. But the other boys, who did not have Bottom to worry about, they started running. My feet, what have you ever done for me? Like they were asking. My feet, what have you ever done for me? They ran for their lives and they were out of there, leaving all the cattle behind. Got to take care of myself, excuse me. This young boy who had Bottom to worry about and his large herd of cattle, he stood there and looked at the ogres. He was short. He just didn't know whether to. He knew the running away was out of the question. And Bottom stood there proudly next to him. And the ogres looked around and the boys had run away and they said, so, whose ox is this? It's my father's ox. And the ogres said, well, we're going to take it. That's what we're going to eat tonight. And the boy didn't say anything. What do you do? 10 men eating ogres. You don't do anything. You don't say anything. And so they came closer. They had spears. And one of them started stabbing Bottom. The spear fell down. Another one fell down. They took their sticks and they hit him. Mamu ponya. Bottom looked at them. Is that all? They said, what is wrong with this ox? Is he paralyzed by fear? The boy said, I'm sorry, but Bottom doesn't know anything about fear. He just doesn't know the meaning of that word. Well, we're going to teach him. They beat him up, and Bottom did not move. And they say, talk to your ox. Make him move. Shoo! And the boy knew he had to do something, because in those old songs, when people shared stories and magic happened, it was always propelled by a song. Hamba nabo batom wenkomo kababa batom singafa sonke batom sobuya batom hamba nabo batom wenkomo kababa batom singafa sonke batom sobuya hamba nabo batom wenkomo kababa batom singafa sonke batom sobuya batom. And Batom began to move. And as they drove him away, the boy knew he had to follow. He wouldn't go home and tell his parents that he let Batom go. So he went with Batom, and they walked, and they walked, and they walked past a small river and to the other side, and they climbed a hill, and then they went past a place that was really, really scary. They kept moving, and they got to those mountains that he always dreamt about, that one day he would see them, but he didn't expect to go with such company. But at some point they got to a river that was so flooded. There must have been rains up north somewhere. And Batom just knelt and sat down. And the ogres just went inside because they were so big and tall. The water just went up to here. Batom just sat down. He didn't move. But come on, speak to your ox, man. We don't have all night. It was late by now. And the boy didn't know what to do. He knew they had to cross the river. So he asked, Wela lomfula, Batom, henkomo kababa, Batom, singafa sonke, Batom, sobuya, Wela lomfula, Batom, henkomo kababa, singafa sonke, Batom, sobuya, Batom. Batom stood up. As he got into the water, the boy jumped. I'm not going to be able to cross this river. And he climbed on the back of Batom and held onto the big hump on the back. And they traveled. It must have been past midnight by the time they got to the place where the ugly ogres called it home. And there was fire. There was a big pot in there. And the water was boiling. There was an old grandmother, equally ugly like all the others. And they wanted to put that meat in that pot. They took their spears and they stabbed Batom Poko. The spear fell down. Stabbed him Poko. The spear fell down and stabbed him Poko. Hey boy, talk to your ox. Tell him to die. Come on, talk to your ox. With tears running down his cheeks, he said, please allow yourself to die, Batom. Allow yourself. Awuvume ufe, Batom, henkomo kababa. Singafa sonke, Batom, sobuya, awuvume ufe, henkomo kababa. Singafa sonke, Batom, sobuya, the next spear that stabbed him, boom, he fell down. They cut him, they removed the skin and the hooves and the head, put it aside, and big chunks of meat were thrown into that boiling water in the pot, and in a short space of time they took it out. Don't know if it was ripe or whatever, don't know. And then they took the meat and they were eating and eating and eating. When the bone was without meat, they threw it at the boy. And the bones, they threw them at the boy. And the boy cried and he went to hide behind a rock. And he knew anytime now, when they fell asleep and they woke up, they would want to eat him. This was the end. Batom is gone, and now he's got no protection whatsoever. He sat there crying his eyes out, knowing he'd never see the place he called home, his parents, his grandparents. And as he lay there, he suddenly heard a sound. They were snoring so loudly. It felt like there was thunder all around. And when he saw that, maybe this is my opportunity. This song has worked thus far. He collected all of those bones, took the skin, opened it, put all the bones inside. The skin was still wet and pliable, and he tied it into a big knot. And then he took front to the nazo, the back ones, right? How many of them? 4, right? If there's 2 in front, there must be 2 at the back. So 2 at the back, and then we need something in front to lead another way. What? His head, exactly. Put the head on that side. And then he took a stick and he began to hit this pile of bones and the hooves and then the head. And he sang with all that was inside him, little boy that he was. Oh, Kosiam. And then this part of the song normally needs more men. I don't know how many men are in the house, but I need men to assist me with this thing. Please, men, help me now. Wake up and let's go, Batom. That's what we are saying now. Awuvuke sihambe Batom enkomo kababa singafa sonke Batom sobuya Batom awuvuke sihambe enkomo kababa singafa sonke Batom sobuya awuvuke sihambe enkomo kababa singafa sonke Batom sobuya Yamatamba nyakaza. And the feet stood up and the head began to move and that hump was back. And the boy jumped on top of Batom and he galloped like a racehorse. He even knew what direction was home and they galloped until at sunrise they were back home. Can you believe it? Back home at sunrise, and now there was a young bride who was recently married, wanted to impress the in-laws. The boy was killed by the ogres is back. She was shouting, and the people said, "Oh God, these young women, the noise they make so early in the morning." But when they came out, they saw for themselves. The boy jumped into the water and he bathed, and Batom rolled in the water, and then they came out again. And when they got home, oh my, the parents, the neighbors, everybody said, "You left as a boy yesterday, today you come back as a man. Please teach us that song." And they sang that song over and over every day. When children were born years later, they asked, "What is this song about this Batom?" And they were told the story I've just told you. And that woman who was shouted at for shouting so loud early in the morning, going to fetch water at the river, said, "I saw them. I saw with my own eyes. I promise you, he came back from the dead. He came back with this ox. It was not eaten by the ogres. He is here with us. He's a man. He is to be respected." And they continued like that. I see many cultural imperialists wanting to take away our cultures and our heritage and our oral traditions, all our spiritualities. And I say, like Batom, we will rise, and we've got no intentions of staying dead. Just like Batom, we're gonna rise up and we're gonna sing our songs, we're gonna do our dances, we shall beat the drums, we shall celebrate one another. We're not only gonna celebrate, we're gonna love one another. Not only are we gonna love one another, we're gonna keep the light of hope alive.
Jalia, alaleka jalia da.
Yes.
Alaleka jalia, alaleka jalia da. Jalia oh jalia Nothando Zulu. Jalia oh jalia Nothando Zulu. Jalia oh jalia Beverly Cottman. Jalia oh jalia Beverly Cottman. Hey jalia alaleka jalia da. Alaleka jalia da. Sawubona family. May I have permission from my elders to continue? The name of this story is Born by the River. Sam Cooke would say, "I was born by the river."
I like that song.
I was born by the river, like many of you. I was born near the confluence. That's the meeting of two mighty rivers, the Missouri and the Mississippi, where they meet, the confluence. And in that ancient time, the people called the Osage and the Missouri lived west of the Mississippi River. And east of the Mississippi River were the Illinois, also called the Illinois, the Ojibwe, and the Cahokia. And at that place in ancient time, where the Cahokia, it was the center of a large, complex, high civilization that spread for miles in every direction. They were known as the Mound Builders. They built the largest platform pyramid mound north of Mexico. They built so many mounds for their ceremonial and social activities, the area was called Mound City. Bruh, Leon Thomas, who was from this area, would sing to us. There was a time when peace was upon the earth, and joy and happiness did reign, and each one knew his worth. In my heart, how I yearn for that spirit's return, and I cry as time flies. African proverb says, evil enters like a needle and spreads like an oak tree. 3 people from France came up the Mississippi and established a profitable fur trading business on the West Bank. As this community grew, they called it St. Louis. The year was 1764. Right across the river, a profitable ferry trading business carrying folk, the French, back and forth, developed into a community called Illinois Town. The year was 1797. A few years later, the name was changed to East St. Louis. These colonizers, these French, the English, Spanish, and others brought with them their barbaric lifestyle of holding Africans captive in bondage from the largest port in New Orleans. They brought Africans north on the Mississippi to their towns of Natchez, Memphis, St. Genevieve, Hannibal, St. Louis. When they got to St. Louis, they were marched from the banks up to the colonizers' courthouse. There, on those steps, they were auctioned off and sold. Same courthouse, Harriet and Dred Scott fought for their freedom. Then there was a great victory. The mighty Africans of Haiti, they defeated the French, the armies of Napoleon. They defeated them. Established the first black nation in the Western Hemisphere. Haiti, mountainous land. And eliminated slavery all through the island. As a result, the size of the United States doubled because France, suffering a great loss, sold its so-called possessions to the United States in a deal titled the Louisiana Purchase. Some of the lands in this deal became the states of Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, Iowa, Minnesota. 100 years later, the colonizers of the world, they celebrated their great feats of colonialism and barbarism with the World's Fair Trade Exposition in St. Louis, Missouri, 1904. Meet me in St. Louis, meet me at the fair. Don't tell me the lights are shining any place but there. So meet me in St. Louis, meet me at the fair. They put on a grand display of imperialism featuring captured indigenous leader Geronimo. They human trafficked in to our people from the Congo, Zulu from South Africa, and Igorot from the Philippines, and cast them all in dehumanizing roles and kept them in horrible living conditions. Hey, but it was a good day because the Zulu, they pulled a Harriet Tubman on them. That was a good day. 5 years later, a spirit of Sankofa was born amongst us. Sankofa to go back and fetch that which has been lost, stolen, strayed. You see, Miss Catherine Dunham was born in 1909. And all her life, she worked to uplift her people and destroy the oppression caused by racism and the color line. In the 1930s, she was a black pioneer of anthropology, trailblazing in Jamaica among the Coromantee. She danced with Shango in Guadalupe, Cuba, Trinidad, and Tobago. She lived and sat with the descendants of winning revolutionaries in the first black republic in the Western Hemisphere, Haiti. She established a dance company for dance, story, and play, and they opened up closed doors on Broadway. The Catherine Dunham Company was featured in a classic black movie, please see it, Stormy Weather. And her dance company brought 57 countries round this world. Great pleasure. Advisor to Senegal, West Africa, 1966, she played a major part in developing the first Pan-African World Festival of Arts. She had a vision and made a way for Laji Camara and more charm to bring us Dono and Djembe. Mama Catherine became artist in residence for Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville, and she directed PATC, the Performing Arts Training Center in the East St. Louis, Illinois community. She established a dance studio there and a museum of world African art so all the little children could get a good educational head start. Journey to a Kompong, Touch of Innocence, Casamance, Island Possessed are some of the books she wrote for us to read, continuing her plan for us to succeed. We say, Adupe Iya, Adupe. We give thanks Iya Mama. Please repeat after me. Adupe. Iya. Adupe. Iya. Adupe. Iya. Adupe. Iya. Now I'm gonna say some of the things she gave us, and every time I say something, y'all just say adupe iya. What does adupe iya mean?
We give thanks to you, Mama.
That's right, we give thanks, Mama. Adupe iya. She gave us Africa. She gave us Ifa. She brought us Conga. She brought Capoeira. She brought Dunun and Djembe. She brought Malanke. Wolof and Malanke. She gave us Haiti. She gave us PATC. Mama Catherine Dunham. Mama Catherine Dunham. Mama Catherine Dunham. Mama Catherine Dunham. Hey, Mama Catherine Dunham. Mama Catherine Dunham. She brought us Africa. She brought Ifa. Gave us the Conga. Brought us Capoeira. Brought us Dunun and Djembe. Brought us Malanke and Walla. Mama Catherine Dunham. Hey, Mama Catherine Dunham. Asante sana, thank you very much.
Jumbo, everyone. Just come on. Oh, I can't hear everyone. Let's try it again. Jumbo. Oh, you know what jumbo means, don't you? What does it mean? Hello. Well, why don't we start off with a jumbo song? I know you're good singers, so let's try. Repeat after me. Jumbo. Jumbo. Jumbo Sana. Jumbo Sana. Jumbo. Jumbo Sana. That means hello. Hello, everybody. Hello. Hello, everybody. Come on now. Jumbo. Move your shoulders. Jumbo Sana. Up and down. Jumbo. Jumbo Sana. What does it mean? Hello. Hello, everybody. Hello. Hello, everybody. Jumbo. Jumbo Sana. Jumbo. Jumbo Sana. Jumbo! tonight, aren't we? Yeah. And you're going to help me tell a story. But before I get started, I just have to share a couple of words with you about my great lifelong friend, Nothando Zulu. You see, I moved to Minneapolis in 1981, and I auditioned for the then known as the Black Theater Alliance, which became the Black Storytellers Alliance. And Nothando was the one who auditioned me. And I joined that group, and that became my storytelling launch. So I want to dedicate this story to her. And I also want to dedicate it to her better half, or her other half. And he probably didn't know that. Vusi was responsible for making my very first storytelling brochure. So I give them both thanks and honor, and I miss my friend. Now let's get started. We're going to travel to Haiti. Yes. Yes, you talked about Haiti. We're going to Haiti. There was a king that lived there in Haiti. And he loved dancing. He loved to dance himself. Yes, and he loved to watch other people dance. In fact, he would hire professional dancers every night to come and perform for him. But that was getting a little costly. So he had to come up with an idea. Now, one night, he was in his garden, and he started to come up with a tune. He'd do that all the time. You know, he'd sing to himself, Kokioko, Kokioko, Kokio, Kokio, samba. And after a while, he played around with some words and some melodies, and he came up with Kokioko, oh samba, samba, Kokioko, oh samba, samba, Kokioko, oh samba, samba, now I dance, now I dance, now I dance like this. He had a tune. Yes. Now, what good is a tune without a dance? So he had to make up some movements. Now, he started swinging his arms up and down. He started going side to side. He started moving his hips. And before long, he had made up a dance. Now, you have to help him sing his song, okay? Now, over here, you're going to go, oh, Kokioko, okay? And you're going to say, oh, samba, samba. You got it? Okay, here we go. 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, Kokioko. Oh, samba, samba, Kokioko. Samba, samba, Kokioko. Oh, samba, samba. Now I dance, now I dance, now I dance like this. Everybody says that. Now, you got to help him do it again, and I'll show you the movements. You ready? 5, 6, 7, 8. Kokioko. Oh, samba, samba, Kokioko. Oh, samba, samba, Kokioko. Oh, samba, samba. Now I dance, now I dance, now I dance like this. Ah, he had it. Now, his idea was to have a dance contest. That way, he could have dancing every night. He would offer a big prize, a bag of gold, to anyone who could dance the Kokioko. That's what he called his new dance. Now you're laughing. Nobody could dance the Kokioko, right? Why? Because nobody else knew it. But that didn't stop people from trying, because there was a bag of gold to be won. So every night, people lined up at the palace gate. Now, I need some people to audition, you know. It was like dancing for the stars, with the stars. It was like, So You Think You Can Dance, or America's Got Talent. Okay, come on. I need a dancer. Come on. You right there. Yes, and I need, yes, come on over here.
You got it.
Now, there was a young man I saw earlier with a cap on. Where did he go? Come on. Oh, come right on up. Yes.
The dancers arrived, and as soon as they arrived, the music started, and they tried to dance that kokiyoko. Are you ready? 5, 6, 7, 8. Kokiyoko, oh samba, samba, kokiyoko. Oh samba, samba, kokiyoko. Oh samba, samba, now I dance, now I dance, now I dance like this. Well, some of them had a little bit of rhythm. Some of them got the arms right. Some of them got the hips right. But nobody could dance the kokiyoko. Give him a hand. Good try. Thank you. Now, that wasn't all. I said this happened night after night. I need some more dancers. Nobody came from this side. Okay, I see someone there in the third row. Come on up. Yes. Yes, and I see Mr. Simmons right there. You can come on up. Yes, and this young lady right here. Come on. And there's, oh, come on over. These dancers lined up. They wanted that bag of gold. Yes. Oh my goodness. And the music started. 5, 6, 7, 8. Kokiyoko. Oh samba, samba, kokiyoko. Oh samba, samba, kokiyoko. Oh samba, samba. Now I dance, now I dance, now I dance like. Oh, they got the hip part. But some of them forgot the other side to side. But give them a hand anyway. Thank you. Now this went on and on and on. But one night after all the tryouts were over, Malise, the king's gardener, was on his way home. But he got almost home and he realized he'd forgotten his hat. So he came back to the palace. And when he got close to the palace, he could hear some music. And he thought to himself, well, surely all the dancing is done for the night. Everyone has gone home. Who could that be? When he got to the palace gate, he peeped through the gate and he could see the king in the garden. You see, every night the king would practice the kokiyoko so he wouldn't forget it. And he was there dancing. Oh, Malise was very quiet. He watched as the king threw his arms up and down and moved back and forth. He watched him very carefully as he went side to side with his movements. He watched as he moved his hips. And he was very still until the king went inside. Oh, Malise couldn't wait till he got home. He ran in and he told his wife what he'd seen. And then he showed her the kokiyoko. Oh, and they came up with a plan. Now, I didn't tell you that Malise was known as the trickster. Yes. And the next morning, he went to see his friend, Buki, who was known as the fool. That was the plan. He said, oh, Buki, oh, I know how you can make some money. Yes, I'm going to teach you the kokiyoko, and you can win that bag of gold from the king. And Buki said, no, Malise, I don't know how to dance. You see, Buki was kind of clumsy, you know, kind of large, I should say. And he had kind of 2 left feet. But Malise was a trickster. Oh, you can do it, you can do it. I will teach you. And so every night he worked with Buki. It was a challenge. Every night, weeks went by. He finally felt that Buki was ready. Buki came to the king's palace, just like the others had done. He waited until his turn. He came in front of the king, and the music started, and he started to dance. 5, 6, 7, 8. Kokioko, oh samba, samba, kokioko. Oh samba, samba, kokioko. Oh samba, samba. Now I dance, now I dance, now I dance like this. Well, the king was surprised. He said, well, let's try that again. He wasn't sure if he had seen it right. And Buki tried it again. 5, 6, 7, 8. Kokioko, oh samba, samba, kokioko. Oh samba, samba, kokioko. Oh samba, samba. Now I dance, now I dance, now I dance like this. The king was shocked. Buki had danced the kokioko. How in the world could he have known? He didn't think about that. The king just said, well, I proclaim that Buki has danced the kokioko, and here is his bag of gold. Oh, Buki was so excited. He grabbed that bag of gold, and he ran down the road. And you know who he met?
Who?
Malise. Yes, Malise said, oh, Buki, I'm so happy for you. I'm so proud you did it, you did it. Oh, and now since you are such a dancer, I will teach you a dance of celebration. Well, Buki, you know, his confidence was up there by now. He was proud of himself. He knew he could do it. He said, oh, yes, teach me. I can do anything. And he said, okay, Buki, the dance goes like this. And he started. The song went like this. If you have no sense, put your sack on the ground and dance, 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 dance. If you have no sense, put your sack on the ground and dance, 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 dance. Well, Buki said, oh, I could do that. That's really easy, Malise. And so he put his sack on the ground and he started to dance with Malise. Now you help him sing. If you have no sense, put your sack on the ground and dance, 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 dance. If you have no sense, put your sack on the ground and dance, 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 dance. Now Malise said, oh no, Buki, you must feel the music. You must feel the rhythm. You must close your eyes. Yes, and get into it. So Buki closed his eyes. He felt the rhythm, he felt the music, he felt the movement, and he started to sing. If you have no sense, put your sack on the ground and dance, 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 dance. If you have no sense, put your sack on the ground and dance, 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 dance. And all of a sudden, he didn't hear anybody singing. And he opened his eyes, and he didn't see anybody. While his eyes were closed, Malise's wife had crept out from behind a tree and had grabbed Buki's bag of gold. And Buki said, Malise, where are you? Malise, my sack of gold is gone. Malise from a distance yelled, oh, Buki, where did you put it? Oh, Malise, I put it on the ground so I could dance. And Malise said, oh, Buki, I tried to warn you. I said, if you put your sack on the ground and dance, then you have no sense. And Malise and his wife took off with the gold. Now, Buki was sad. But then he became proud as he remembered that he had danced the kokioko.
I have heard that so many here in Minneapolis have sat at the feet of Mother Love, Nothando Zulu. So many have sat at her feet from all across the country. And we will continue to sit at her heavenly feet, listening to her words of wisdom, listening to her stories, and telling her story. Thank you for having me here today and being able to join my fellow storytellers, my family up here. So thank you for that, Vusi. When at the celebration of life, I had a chance to read Mama Linda Goss's praise song, and within that song, she talked about how Mother Nothando and Chief Baba Zulu are the epitome of the 7 principles of Kwanzaa, right? And she was saying we see them, and we see the umoja in them, and all of the principles, and so we continue to see that, that 7 sight. Sing, and I'm dedicating this story today to Mother Love, Nothando Zulu, and Chief Baba Vusi Zulu. Baba Tambiko, he and his wife, Kawaida, Mama Kawaida, they had just set out in the kitchen a shoke, hanging a shoke. And they had placed a mat there. It was around December 26th or so. And they had placed a mat there. And on that mat, they placed a candle holder that Papa Tambiko had made just last year for each of his 7 children. And then Mama, she bent down to the cabinet and she opened up that cabinet and she brought out that blue roasting pot. You know, the one with the white dots. They got that bin in the bottom that holds the last little bit of Mama's sop up gravy. And then she brought out those pie pans. And Baba Tambiko knew he needed to go on down to the sweet potato field because the family was coming this day. So he went on down to the sweet potato field, and I kind of need me a Papa Tambiko in the house. So can I get a Papa Tambiko? Can we bring the house lights up a little bit because I can't see the audience too much. I need a Papa Tambiko. So let me get a brother. Let me get a brother somewhere. I can't see too good. I need a Papa Tambiko right here. Come here, Papa. Come on, Papa Tambiko. So, Papa Tambiko, yeah. He came on up. Come on over here, Papa Tambiko. And Papa Tambiko, he went on down to that field and he looked at it. Wait a minute, hold up a little bit. And he looked and he thought about his ancestors, the ones who had worked the land. And he, you know, Tambiko means libation. So he poured some libation on that earth and was calling out those ancestors' names and thought he would go ahead and pull up some of those taters. So he picked one up and he put it in a sack. And he picked another one up and he put it in a sack. And he went down to get another one, Papa Tambiko, but it wouldn't come up. No matter which way he pulled that way and this way and that way and this way. But it wouldn't come up, but he knew who to call. He said, Mama Kawita! And Mama Kawita came quick, fast, and lickety split. Makeda, come on up here. Quick, fast, and lickety split. And Mama Kawita came on up. And she looked and come around this side right here, and she said, well, that's a mighty big sweet potato. Well, that's a mighty big sweet potato. But I can help you pull it up. But I can help you pull it up. And so, Mama, you want to turn around this way, and you're going to hold on to Baba this way, Baba right here, right? And together, they started pulling on the table. Hold up. It went to a rhythm. And the rhythm went like this. Baba was a poor anointed Harambe. Mama was a poor anointed Harambe. Baba was a poor anointed Harambe. Mama was a poor anointed Harambe. But that sweet potato, it didn't come up. So mama, come here, mama. Mama put her hand on her right hip. And she called her first child, Umoja. And Umoja came, quick, fast, and lickety split. Come on up here, Umoja. And Umoja said, family, we know unity.
We know unity.
But in case you need a sample, here it go. You see the Zulu family, you see it all weekend. You see them with their family, bringing the unity between the family and the community and the nation and all those in the African diaspora. You see their work, they bring them together. You see it here, we here together. And so she went on up and they hooked on up, come on. There's Baba and there's Mama and there's Umoja and together they started pulling on that tater. Come on. Baba was pulling on the tater. Mama was pulling on the tater. Umoja was pulling on the tater. I mean, they was working it, but that sweet potato, it didn't come up. Mama, step out here for a minute, please. So Mama put her hand on her. Come on, everybody together. Mama put her hand on her right hip. She put her hand on her left hip. And she called her second child, Kuji Chagalia. And Kuji Chagalia came quick, fast, and lickety split. Come there. Come on up here. And Kuji Chagalia said,
Family,
we know self-determination.
we know self-determination.
But in case you need an example, here you go. We heard the testimony that there was a young child here in Minneapolis. She was young and she was dealing with colorism in her own community. And she was that of the beautiful melanin skin, the rich, dark melanin skin, but she was dealing with the colorism and she felt low in herself. But it was Mama Nothando Zulu who came to her and raised her up so that she understood and loved the color of her skin. And now she speaks her words and she speaks her truth, loving the skin she's in. So they hooked on up, come on up right here. And together they started, y'all gotta sing with me, come on here. They started pulling on that tater. Come on. Baba was pulling, Harambe. Mama was pulling on the tater. Umoja was pulling on the tater. Kuji Chagalia was pulling on the tater. Oh, my goodness. Mama, come on up here, baby. I mean, I'm telling you. That sweet potato still didn't come up. You know, so what Mama do? Y'all put your hand up here. Mama put her hand on her right hip. She put her hand on her left. She let her backbone slip. Come on, like your mama. Backbone. Let that little. And she called her third child, Ujima. And Ujima came quick, fast, and lickety split. Right there, I'll take an Ujima. Anybody right in here? Give me an Ujima. I need somebody, come on up. It's hard to see. Ujima. Come on, yay. I got my Ujima. Oh, and it's you. Yeah. This is the self-determination story. All right. And so, she said, family, we know collective work and responsibility. But in case you need an example, here it is. Now, we heard the story of how Nothando Zulu, no matter what the cause was social justice, racism, building community, building buildings, fighting injustices, having to stand in front of a police car to protect her son. We heard that, right? No matter what it is, collectively they were going to come together because they understand that it is for us to understand and be with understanding the problems in our community and reaching them to solve them together. Even if it takes going 3 times in front of an organization or 3 times to a meeting, they were there. And so they all hooked up together, and they started pulling on that tater. What? Mom was pulling on the tater. Around Marge was pulling on the tater. Gucci Chocolate was pulling on the tater. Ujima was pulling on the tater. Oh man, y'all think that potato came up? No. Mama, come on up here, everybody. Come on, put your hand up here. Right here, come on, mama. Come on, you got, Come on, mama, put her hand on her. Right. She put her hand on her. She let her backbone slip. She leaned forward to a tip. And she called her next child, Ujamaa. And Ujamaa came quick, fast, and lickety split. Come on, right here, come here. Come on now. And Ujamaa came right on up. And she said, family. Oh, we know cooperative economics. But in case you need a sample, all you gotta do is look right here. It's the 33rd Signifyin and Testifyin Festival with the Black Storytelling Alliance, right? So we take our monies and collectively pay our artists. We build our community. We strengthen our culture. So they came on back and they hooked on up. There you go. And they started pulling on that tater. Come on! Papa was pulling on the tater. Mom was pulling on the tater. What? Umoja was pulling on the tater. Gucci Chocolate was pulling on the tater. Uji was pulling on the tater. Ujamaa was pulling on the tater. Oh, man. I'm telling you, that was working. But they said, yo, then come on up here, mama. And everybody, we all gonna work it together. Come on. Come on. Mama put her hand on her. She put her hand on her. She let her backbone slip. Wait, that's right. I'm sorry. She let her backbone slip. That's your slip. You got a nice slow roll on there. Yeah. She leaned forward to a tip. She swung down in a dip. And she called, Nia. And Nia came quick, fast, and lickety split. Oh yeah, whoa! Quick, and Nia said, family. Now we know purpose. But just in case you need a sample, remember that the scholar, the sage, told us you gotta build institutions. Yes, we gotta build these institutions. That's our purpose. In order to restore and remember the greatness of our people, you gotta build institutions like Mother Nothando Zulu and Baba Vusi Zulu. So they hooked right on up, and they started pulling on that tater. Come on, Mama was pulling on the tater. Mama was pulling on the tater. Umoja was pulling on the tater. Kuji Chocolate was pulling on the tater. Ujima was pulling on the tater. Ujima was pulling on the tater. Andy was pulling on the tater. Almost, but no. It still didn't come up. Oh, so Mama, come on, everybody. Put a hand on her. She put a hand on her. She let her backbone slip. She leaned forward to a tip. She swung down in the dip. She let her head whip. And she called her next child. Kumba! Kumba! A Kumba came! Quick, fast, and lickety split. And Kumba said, family, we know.
Family, we know.
Creativity.
Creativity.
But just in case you forgot a little bit of something, you gotta understand that creativity is about leaving your community more beautiful than the way you found it. Like somewhere up there in Minneapolis, when you go to the Elks, right? There's that beautiful Nothando Zulu right on the walls, making that community beautiful. And then there's the garden, leaving it more beautiful than the way they found it, with that Mariama taking care of it, passing it down in the legacy. That's what we talking about. Come on up here, come on up here. Hook on up, hook on up. Yeah. And they started pulling on that tater. Come on. Mama was pulling on the tater. And Mama was pulling on the tater. Umoja was pulling on the tater. Kuji Chocolate was pulling on the tater. Ujima was pulling on the tater. Ujima was pulling on the tater. Ujima was pulling on the tater. Amy was pulling on the tater. Cole got down on the tater. It was almost there. But I'm telling you, the whole community, they came out and they worked it out. Come on. Yeah, right. And Mama, everybody, we gotta do it together, community. Come on. We gotta work it. You gotta work it. Put your hand up there like that. Whoa. Mama put her hand on her. She put her hand on her. She let her backbone slip. She leaned forward to a tip. She swung down in a dip. She let her head whip. And before Mama could part her lips, Imani was right there. And Imani said, family, we know faith.
We know faith.
But in case you forgot,
And because in case you forgot,
all you gotta do
is
look at my great-grandparents.
I look at my great-grandparents.
There we go. Faith comes first. Y'all hook on up together. Here we go, y'all. Hold on. Hold on to your Here we go. 5, 6, 7, 8. Papa was pulling on the tater. Mama was pulling on the tater. Umoja was pulling on the tater. Kuji Chocolate was pulling on the tater. Ujima was bopping on the tater. Ujima got down on the tater. And me was rocking on the tater. Cole was pulling on the tater. Imani was holding for the tater. Imani was holding for the tater. And that sweet potato came. Yeah. And who's the samba? Give it up, give it up. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Why y'all make me do this? Woo! Tore it up from the floor up. Ah, shit. Okay, Mama Nothando, it's Granddaddy. I'm gonna do what I do. You know I love you. Gotta clean something up from the other night. The woman was old. It's a Macmillan poem. The woman was old and poor and gray, bent by the chill of a winter's day. The streets were white with the recent snow, and the woman's feet with age were slow. At the crowded crossing, she waited long, jostled aside by the careless throng of human beings that passed her by, unheeding the glance of an anxious eye. Down the street with laughter and shout, clad in the freedom of school let out, came happy boys like a flock of sheep, hailing the snow piled white and deep. Past the woman old and gray, hastened the children along the way. Not one of them lent a hand to her, so timid and weak and afraid to stir, lest the automobile's wheels or the pedestrian's feet should trample her down in the slippery street. At last there came from the merry troop the kindest boy of all the group. He paused beside her and whispered low, "I'll help you across if you wish to go." Her old weak hand on his strong young arm she placed, and without hurt or harm he guided her trembling steps along, proud that his own were young and strong. Then back again to his friends he went, his young heart happy and well content. She's somebody's mother, boys, you know, for all she's aged and poor and slow. And someone somewhere might lend a hand to help my mother. You understand? If ever she's old and poor and gray, and her dear son is far away. Somebody's mother bent low her head in her home that night, and the prayer she said was, "God, be kind to that noble boy who is somebody's son and pride and joy." Faint were the words and worn and weak, but the Creator hears when his creation speaks. Angels caught the faltering words, and somebody's mother's prayer was heard. Thank you. So Vusi asked me to do this, and I have to honor my elder, because he pays the check, he signs the check. And I'm gonna do it, but I have to explain this. Paul Laurence Dunbar is one of his most famous pieces, and you can hear the genius of his words and the vividness of the pictures he paints with the beautiful dialect language of our African people as we translated it into this English language. They had a great big party over Tom's the other night. Was I there? Child, you bet, and I never in my life seen such a sight. All the folk from Folk Plantation was invited, and they come trooping thick as chillin' when they hairs a fife and drum. Everybody dressed their finest. Hush your mouth and get away. I ain't seen no such fancy dressing since last Coley meeting day. Girls all dressed in silks and satins, ne'er a wrinkle, ne'er a crease. Eyes a battin', teeth a shining, hair brushed back as slick with grease. Skirts all tucked and puffed and ruffled, ever blessed seam and stitch. If you'd seen them with their missus, couldn't tell was which. Men all dressed up in Prince Albans, swallowtails or took your breath. I can't tell y'all nothing about it. You ought to seen it for yourself. Now, who was there? Child, who you asking? How you expect I was going to know? You must think I stood and counted everybody at the door. Old man Barber's houseboy Isaac brung that gal Melinda Jane, her a swinging to his elbow, him a strutting with a cane. My, but Harvey Jones was jealous, seemed to stick him like a thorn. But he laughed with Viney Carter, trying hard to not let on. But a person would have noticed from the direction of his look that he was watching every step that Ike and Lindy took. Oh, Ike, he found a chair and asked her, "Won't you sit down?" with a smile. And she answered up a bowing, "Oh, I reckon 'tain't worthwhile." That was just for style, I reckon, 'cause she sat down just the same. And she stayed there till he fetched her for to join some sort of game. And I heard her saying proper as she raised to go away, "Oh, you really must excuse me, for I hardly cares to play." But I see her in a minute with the others on the floor, and it won't now one of them a playing anymore. Coming down the floor a bowing and a swaying and a swinging, putting on her high-tone manners all the time that she was singing. Oh, swing Johnny up and down, swing him all around. Oh, swing Johnny up and down, swing him all around. Oh, swing Johnny up and down, swing him all around. Fare thee well, my darling. Had to laugh at old man Johnson. He's a caution, now you bet. Hitting close on to 100, but he's spry and nimble yet. He loud high giggling, "I ain't old, I'll let you see. Why, there ain't no use in acting feeble. Why, you youngsters, just watch me." Then he grabbed my Aunt Melinda, weighed 300 more or less, and he swung around the cabin, swinging Johnny like the rest. Everybody laughed and hollered, "Go and swing her, Uncle Jim." And he swung her too, I reckon, like a youngster, who but him. That was better than young Scott Thomas, trying to be so awful smart. You know, when they gets to singing and they come to that part in some lady's new brick house, in some lady's garden, if you don't let me out, I'll bust out. So fare thee well, my darling. Then they gets a circle around you, and you's got to break the line. Well, that young'un was so anxious, like to bust himself a trying. Kept on blundering around and fooling, till he get one great big jump. Broke the line, but lit head foremost in the fireplace right plump. Oh, it had fire in it, mind you. Well, I like my soul I'd bust. Tried myself to keep from laughing, but it seemed like die I must. Wish you see that boy scrambling from the ashes and the grind. Did it burn it? Such a question. He didn't even give it time. Told them ashes and them cinders ever which way, I guess, and you never in your lifetime clapped your eyes on such a mess. 'Cause he surely made a picture, and a funny one to boot, with his clothes all full of ashes and his face all full of soot. Well, he liked to stop the party. And I reckon like as not that he would, if Tom's wife Mandy hadn't happened on the spot to invite us out to supper. Well, we scrambled to the table, and I like to tell y'all about it, what we had, but I ain't able. Tell you just a few things. Though I know I hadn't oughta, 'cause I know 'twill start a hankin' in your mouth for Mr. Water. We had wheat bread, white as cotton, egg pone just like gold, hog jaw, boiling hot and steaming, roasted short and ham sliced cold. Look out there. What's wrong with y'all? Don't be falling on the floor. If it going to affect you that way, I won't tell you nothing more. There now. Well, we had hot chitlins, Now again, you's trying to fall. Can't you stand to hear about it? Suppose you been and seed it all. See them great big sweet potatoes laying by the possum side. Spied that coon in all your gravy, all his gravy, reckon dead you'd up and die. Manny said, you all must excuse me, but there wasn't much upon my shelves. But I's done my best to suit you, so sit down and help yourselves. Tom, he loud, I don't believe in apologizing or professing. Let them take it like to catch it. Elder Thompson, ask the blessing. Wish you'd see that colored preacher clear his throat and bow his head. One eye shut and one eye open. This is every word he said. Lord, ha! Look down and tender mercy. Ha! On such generous hearts as these. Ha! Make us truly thankful, amen. Pass that possum, if you please. Well, we ate and drunk our potion till there wasn't nothing left, and we felt just like new sausage. We was most not stuffed to death. Tom know how we be feeling, so he had to fiddle around, and he made us clear the cabin for the dance that supper down. Jigs, cotillions, reels, and breakdowns. Quadrilles on a waltz or two. Oh, that music surely winged them, and them people like the flu. Cripple Joe, the old rheumatic, danced that floor from side to middle. Throwed away his crutch and hopped it. What's rheumatics against the fiddle? And Elder Thompson got so tickled that he liked to lost his grace. Had to grab both feet and hold them so's to keep them in their place. And them Christians and them sinners got so mixed up on that floor that I don't know how they parted if the trump had chanced to blow. Well, we danced that way and capered in the most ridiculous way. So the rooster in the barnyard cleared his throat and crowed for day. Yeah, y'all ought to have been there. I tell you, everything was rich and prime. Why, there ain't no use in talking. We just had one scrumptious time. I felt guilty doing that after Queen Noor's performance. It didn't seem, it wasn't, anyway. But I had to do it because my brother Vusi asked me to. Dunbar, Paul Lawrence Dunbar, the party. And this is Paul Lawrence Dunbar too, and I'm sure I speak for all the storytellers who are here visiting in Minneapolis. I've been here in Minneapolis, St. Paul's for a week or so and say it's going to be hard as breaking oxen for to tear myself away. Folks are always talking about their friendship and their hospitality. Well, they hadn't talked about it till they just been here to see. See just how you give me welcome to the best that's in the land. Feel the sort of grip you give me when you take me by the hand. Hear you say we're glad to have you. Better stay a week or two, and the way you treat me make me feel that every word is true. Feed me. Till I hear the buttons cracking on my Sunday vest. Haul me round to see the wonders till I have to cry for rest. Drink to my health and pet and praise me till I start to feel as great as the sheriff of the county or the governor of the state. When I get home, folks gonna think I'm crazy because I'm gonna go on so and else. He gonna say, goodness gracious, granddaddy, can't you talk about nothing else? Well, play on and I'm just tickled. Being tickled ain't no sin. I've been here at the 33rd annual Signifyin and Testifyin Storytelling Festival put on by the Black Storytellers Alliance in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I ain't left yet, but I want to come again. Thank you very much.
celebration of who we are. No matter what, we're fierce. We're determined to celebrate our achievements and tell our stories and experience Black joy. We're fierce in lifting each other up. We're fierce in forgiveness and showing love and reaching back to get someone else. I heard a story from one of the storytellers, and I don't want to embarrass Frank Simmons, about how we were talking about there were no Black, what was it? Tony, you tell the story better than I do. Why don't you just stand real fast and tell the story about Fisk University and the gymnasts? Yes, come on. It's don't take but a second. Come on. Because I want people to know. This is a story people need to know. Come on.
My husband, Frank Simmons, heard that there were no HBCUs that had a gymnastics team. So he took it upon himself to develop that idea. He serves on the board of trustees of Fisk University, and he made it happen. And some of you may have seen them on different national television programs, and they had their inaugural year this past school year. And now there is a second HBCU that has followed. That's Talladega. Yes.
And we need more Frank Simmons. We need to do that. We need to build for our future. Why I want to invite Boosie. I'm inviting Boosie. Boosie's festival. Boosie, make your way up here. But while he's doing that, I want to give thanks to Christy Lazenberry, who worked so hard to make sure our... Stand, Christy. Stand up, stand up, stand up. I want to give thanks to our stage managers for their hard work. I want to give thanks to our sign language interpreters. Stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. I want to give thanks to iDream TV for broadcasting the program. The St. James House for providing the luncheon for Beverly's luncheon. Give thanks to all our caterers for helping to feed the tellers. And if I miss someone, please, Magotoon for libations. We are so delighted that you're here. Please give a big warm welcome to Boosie Zulu.
Enough of me doing that. I want to thank all y'all for being here. And I do want to just state the obvious. You've seen examples of why we do what we do. You've heard them. You've felt it. Now, we have a symbolic representation of Nothando Zulu right here. And I want to call Makeda Zulu to the stage again. I want KK Zulu to the stage. I want Joshua Chill Gillespie to the stage. I want Mariama. I want Kamari. I want Bahani. Where's David Dennis? Celine. name. Come on, David. Bring your bow legs on up here. You know, David would be 6'7" if he weren't so bow-legged. Call him Sky. Salim's up here. No, the reason why I'm calling them here is because of the fact that I've been getting a lot of support from them and from you. But they all need support too. Thinking about losing a mother, a grandmother, a great-grandmother, an aunt, a leader, the soul. Now you heard KMOJ use it back in the day. KMOJ being the heart and soul of the cities. Well, the heart and soul of Black Storytellers Alliance is Nothando Zulu. And she will always be that heart and soul of Black Storytellers Alliance. And we've had some tremendous outpouring of love back to us as a family. Starting with the homegoing celebration up in New Salem. And if you weren't there, oh Lord, it's like Granddaddy was doing the party. But we're going to put it back online because our Dream TV, they did record it, and we're going to put it up there so you can enjoy that feeling of homegoing. Understand the African side of moving to the village of the ancestors. Because we all got to make that journey. So we may as well make sure that we do what we do while we can do it here. Never, ever take for granted you will touch and hold again somebody you love. Don't put it off. Touch, hold them. Tell them that you love it. Tell them that you love them and mean it when you say it. Because I love you, each and every one of you. So I thank you, and I'm going to relinquish this mic because my family says, give us this, your dad did mic, man. But this is the 33rd. Thank these tellers from all of the places that they've come. And I really do. I'm not trying to disrespect any of the tellers. I want to give a special thank you to our sister from South Africa because Nothando had wanted her to be here 2 years ago. And we had just gotten, she was so proud. And I'm so proud that Nothando got a chance to make certain the things that she had a chance to get it done. I'm also glad that she was able to see the awards. It's Culture Bearer for 2023 with McKnight Foundation. Being on the wall of the Elks, Charles Caldwell. That's right. I mean, that's a giant of an artist. Having Maya Hartman create beautiful art piece. I said I was giving up the mic. Y'all, I know our young folks are going to keep the tradition going because they love their grandmother and their mother. And going to need your help. Going to need your help. How you do it? Be present. Be present. Now, that word, I'm going to say Amandla. Amandla! 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 Yes, thank you.
Papa.
bring our tellers back on stage for one last bow. Please join us on stage. And you know how when you go to the black church and they give that closing? I don't know the words that may God bless you and be with you. Yeah. May the God, don't tell my daddy that, that I don't know that I don't know that. But on behalf of the Black Storytellers Alliance in Minneapolis, Minnesota, we send our love to you and your families. And we ask that you continue to reach out and touch someone and pull somebody, be a Frank Simmons. If there's something that needs to be done and you see an empty spot, be the first one to say something. So we all want to say, we love you.
We love you.
We bless you.
We bless you.
And we thank God for you.
And we thank